Hi everyone. Today I'm going to be walking you through your Intro to Sound Design Day number 2 assignment. And so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to be sharing my screen with you like I always do so that you can follow along as I'm going through the lesson. So you're going to see when you open up your assignment for today that we are still working on TEK 3A and TEK 5D. TEK 3A, which is recognize and select specific technical elements to suggest environment, establish mood, and support character and actions for performance. And we're also looking at TEK 5D, which is exploring career and vocational opportunities in theater. And so when you open up your form, you're going to fill out the first opening page like we always do. And so you're going to fill in your last name, comma, your first name, just like you see in the box on your screen. You're going to fill in your theater class period, which for productions should be second period or sixth period. And then you are going to fill out your Southwest ISD school email address, which is your ID number at southwestisd.net. You heard, honey? I filmed way too many videos today. I'm sorry. Anyway, so when you go on to the next page, you're going to have your warm-up screen. You have your 5-minute timer, just like always. You have some ideas for stretching. And then you have your areas where you're going to mark off what physical full body stretches you're doing and what facial stretches you're doing. Remember, even if you're sitting in your seat at your desk or at your table at home, you can always still stretch in your seat. If you can do arm stretches, stretch your arms up real tall, lean back. Ooh, that one works nicely. If you want to get up and just do it in your seat, you can do that one. My camera's kind of limited here where I'm filming, so stretch. Other arm stretches you could do, touching your back and pulling, or pulling across your arms this way on both sides. You can take, like I said, about 5 minutes to do a quick stretch. Roll your neck, shoulders, a lot you can do even sitting at your seat. So I'm going to mark the ones that we usually do in our live sessions when we do our warm-up routine at the beginning of class. These are the ones we usually do. And then facial stretches, deep breathing. An easy one is to trace your hand. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Very good. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. I'm just going up and down my fingers, inhaling, going up, exhaling, going down. Jaw massage, remember we all know how to do that. Just loosen up the muscles along your jawline. Big face and little face. Very good. And stretching your tongue outside of your mouth. Right. And then you could do up, down, side, side, up, down, side, side. Just doing that quick warm up really it just increases the blood flow throughout your body, helps you to focus, and get you thinking about theater stuff. Your last thing you'll do is you'll pick a couple of tongue twisters to say out loud. Toy boat, toy boat, toy boat, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, rubber baby buggy bumpers, rubber baby buggy bumpers, right? Pick any of your favorites to do and write the names of them in the box provided. Then once you click next, you'll be on to our daily assignments. So today, again, we're looking at the role of the sound designer. Remember, a sound designer is the person responsible for everything an audience hears during a theatrical production, including the sound effects, the music for the show, as well as the actors' voices, making sure the audience can hear everybody and that microphones are at the appropriate levels for all of these different sounds. So today what you're going to be doing is you're going to be making a sound cue sheet. The first section of it is going to be kind of like a notes page, and then the second part of the assignment is going to be where you actually make your sound cue sheet. What you're going to need to do is you're going to need to click and make a copy. So we're going to do that first. Remember, when we make a copy, you're going to click that blue button, and then you're going to add your name to the title of the assignment so that when you turn it in at the end, I will know who it belongs to. I put my whole name. There we go. And so we're going to be looking at, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to be filling in what is a sound cue sheet. What you're going to be doing is when you get this assignment, these will not be filled in. This is kind of a mess. Let me take them all out. When you get yours, it's gonna be blank at the top. And so what we're going to be doing first is we're going to go over all of the different columns or all of the different information that we include in a sound cue sheet. And then you're going to be making your own for our play. And so what you're going to do, you made your copy, you added your name to the title. The other thing you're going to need to do for this assignment is our script, our Popstar and Penguin script. So I'm going to open that up in a new tab just so that we have it ready to go. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to help you fill in this top row on what each column is called. And so here's what we're going to do. The first thing you're going to include on a sound cue sheet is the cue number. Let's just do it like this. The cue number. So the cue number is the order in which the cues happen in the show, starting with 1 and going in numerical number order from 1 all the way up to how many ever cues you have in the show. And so you can use as many cues as you need. Some shows are very simple and they might only have a few cues. Some shows like musicals or bigger plays with more characters are more complex. And then you might have, 40 cues, 50 cues, 100 cues in a show. It just depends on what the play needs. So that's that first column, cue number. The second column is the page number. That's where you would fill in what part of the script does the page number, or what part of the script does the cue happen. So for example, when we go to the very first page of our script, where the actual lines are, and of course they're not loading. Okay, here we go. So we see here, Jessica calls her manager, Tom. So since she's making a call, we're probably going to hear that like ringing sound. So that will be our first sound cue, is the sound of that phone call. And so we're going to write down what page it happens. This is page 6 of the script. And so that's what we would write in this column right here, is what page of the script does it happen on. On this next column, you are going to write the description, just like it says right here. You're going to write in the description. So this is basically where you write down what the sound actually is. So like, for example, in our first sound cue for Jessica, the phone call, we might write phone ringing or ringing sound, right? It's something that is going to tell you what that sound should be. Our next column is the in column and the out column. So the in column is when should that sound come in? What is the line in the script that comes just before the cue? So for our first cue, there are no lines before it. So what you would write down in that case would be curtain or blackout or something like that. And then out is when does that sound disappear or stop playing? And so for our very first cue, it would ring and then it would stop ringing when Tom answers the call. And so there isn't an actual line before that says it or before that happens, or the line right after is thank God you picked up, it's Jessica. So that's what we would write down here in the out column. We would write in, and then for this column, we would write in and so if you just write the beginning of the line, just so that you know about where it should stop, that's good enough. But that's where you would put it. That's the in and out. It's when should the sound, at what point in the script should the sound start? And then at what point does it stop? Our next column is going to be the time column. The time column is how long should that sound be played for? 3 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds. If you're playing a whole song, it might be a couple of minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, right? Time is just how long. How long is that sound cue going to last? The next column is going to be channel. The channel column is to identify what channel on the actual soundboard you need to use to make that sound come on. It's good to know what that is, but you're not going to really need to deal with that when you do your own sound cue sheet later. And then the last column is going to be for notes. Notes are basically anything you need to remember about that cue, any reminders. Some sound cues are a little bit more difficult to execute than others, so you might have to give yourself reminders of what to do. And so that's what you would put in this column, the notes column. Any reminders or any special info that you have about that cue. And so now that you've filled in the notes part of this activity, you're going to go down to activity number 2. And what you're going to do is you're going to be making a sound cue sheet for the curious case of the pop star and her penguins. And so what you're going to be doing is you are going to use
teacher that coaches
interruptions.
Can I see you in the 7th grade hallway downstairs briefly?
It's
if you're
fine.
Or athletic
okay.
coach downstairs 7th grade hallway. Thank you.
All right, there we go. And so what you're going to be doing is you're going to need to look up all of the cues in the script, and you're going to list as many as you can find. Now, I have blank pages here for you. I already have the cue labeled. So let's go back in and let's do the first cue. So the first cue is going to be the phone call. Jessica's the ringing sound of the phone call. So again, this is cue number 1. It was on page 6. The description is phone ringing sound effect. It comes in when the curtain opens because that's going to be the very first thing we hear. There's no lines. We hear the phone and then the actors on stage start talking. So our in is going to be curtain. Our out is going to be Jessica's line, which is thank God you picked up. We can just abbreviate it to make it fit in the box as long as you have the beginning of the line. That gives us a good idea of when we can stop the sound. The time can be an estimate. So about how long would a phone be ringing? Maybe ring, ring, ring. So that sound cue might be maybe 5 seconds or so. So remember, we're putting our time in seconds. And then for notes, you don't always have to put something in the notes box, but since this is our very first cue, you would need to remember that it's the first sound we hear and it's what starts the show. So if that sound cue doesn't happen, then the actors on stage are not going to start talking. They're going to be waiting to hear that sound. And so, for important cues like this, like the first cue, any cue, sound cue that an actor will start talking afterwards is going to be very important to note those kind of things here in the notes section. And so what you're going to be doing is you're going to continue on looking through the script, and you are going to look specifically at the stage directions, the stuff in parentheses, for different sounds. Our next sound after the phone call, when he answers the call, would be the penguin sounds, right? And so that would be our next sound cue number 2. Sound cue number 3 would be the sirens, the police sirens. And then we'd continue on until we find a new sound cue. You're going to try and find as many as you can. Again, I have all these pages on here for you just to make sure you have enough room. You will not need to fill in all the pages. Just do as many as you can. Once you have looked for the sound cues for the whole show, I know it's a big job, it's a big task. You're going to have extra days this week to work on it, don't worry. Once you are done, you'll go back to your Google form and you will add your copy that you just made by selecting My Drive. And then for you guys, it should come up pretty quickly under your recents. So if I get rid of all my folders that I've done, it's right here, my copy of the sound cue sheet. And so I'm going to select it. It'll be on there. And then tell me how you did on your exit ticket. You're just going to tell me how you did on your cue sheet today. Did you finish it? Are you still working on it? If you still are, that's okay. But just turn it in anyway. So that way it's already shared with me. And then you can go back to it if you need to continue working on it. Once you've turned in your document, told me how your progress went on your exit ticket, you're going to click submit. And then that's it. You're done for the day. I hope that you all found this video helpful. Remember, if you still have questions, you can always reach out to me on Google Classroom comments, email, Remind 101 text message, our class Instagram, or just by popping in on our live sessions during the day. That's it for today, everyone. Remember, today is a great day. You are in control of you, and every day is a great day to do your best. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.